A prison reform bill just filed that would make actual prison time serve longer for inmates, especially repeat offenders in Arkansas. 5 News reporter Catherine Gilker tells us about the bill and what both sides think about this. Catherine?
Their around 130-page prison reform bill was filed today that talks about truth in sentencing and funding some prison beds that are needed in the Arkansas Department of Corrections prisons. Sponsors tell 5 News the bill will also focus on mental health and getting people who need help out of the prison system and into programs that can help them. Republican Senator Bart Hester says this prison reform bill is really what's called truth in sentencing.
When we open up the newspaper or listen to you on the news and we see that some guy that's abused a child got 50 years, we think, well, that's good, 50 years. But in Arkansas, that means he got 1/6 of 50 years. And so that's just not truthful. If the general public really understood that, they'd be outraged.
Hester says this will better align Arkansas with the federal prison system. So if someone is sentenced to 50 years, they will serve at least 85% of that time on some crimes and 100% on others.
It's really important because our prisons and our streets are full of repeat violent offenders. We need to find when you are a violent offender, particularly repeat, we need to keep you locked up. You have proven that you do not want to assimilate to society.
Democratic Senator Greg Leding says he hasn't gotten the chance to read the bill yet, but thinks both sides can agree on about 60 or 70% of the bill.
It does sound like there's an elder parole component in there, which is something that I had talked with some of the sponsors of the legislation about earlier this session. Glad to see that included. It sounds like there's going to be a pay raise for correction staff, which is great. Some mental health components in there.
Leding says there can be work done when it comes to the amount of time prisoners serve, but he wants to make sure only people who pose a true threat to public safety are being held. He says he does not agree with the massive price tag to maintain 3,000 new prison beds, saying that we might not need them with more practical and constructive sentencing. But Leding says we still do need to address public safety.
That's one of our top priorities as lawmakers, but I think there are ways that we can address that more constructively and at a much lower cost to the state. Again, it's not just the massive upfront cost of building a new facility, but it's that $31 million a year they're estimating that's going to cost every year after to keep the facility safe and functional.
There are less than 2 weeks left of this legislative session, so it's expected this bill will move very quickly. Catherine Gilker, 5 News.